Everyone, Jesse here. It is Thursday, January the 16th, and hot off the presses, well, you know they will milk this thing till the end of time, therefore we have to expose it, is the latest coming off of the corporate news network CNN. You know that they don't hesitate to publish bullshit. In fact, that's their specialty. So here is, courtesy of Mox News, Adam Lanza made bizarre call to Oregon College radio show, according to CNN. I'm going to play this video. The source for this is the New York Daily News, and definitely going to come back and have some chuckles afterwards. Now let's take a look at CNN here. Anytime you're ready, you can play.
Welcome back to New Day. Disturbing new tapes released just this morning, possibly containing the voice of the Sandy Hook school shooter. The New York Daily News says Adam Lanza's voice is the one heard speaking with an Oregon College radio station about mass murder. Just a year before, he took the lives of 20 children, 6 educators, and his own mother. Using the name Greg, he compares the chimp that mauled a Connecticut woman back in 2009 to a teenage mall shooter. It raises the question, of course, were red flags missed that could have prevented the massacre? CNN's Pamela Brown has been looking into this very eerie phone call, and, of course, this may be very difficult for some people to listen to.
No, absolutely.
Just hearing his voice.
Absolutely. It truly is chilling, Kate. CNN hasn't been able to independently verify the voice heard from this radio show.
I should go with it anyways, right?
And that it's that of the Sandy Hook shooter. But the eerie audio from the Daily News might bring some insight into the mind of a young man not long before he went on that shooting.
So they haven't been able to verify it, but they're going to run with it anyways. And it's going to give you insight. Even though we haven't confirmed that it's his voice, we don't give a fuck. We're just going to run with it anyways.
Rampage that shattered a nation. Is this the voice of Adam Lanza?
Some little thing he experienced was the last straw, and he was overwhelmed by the life that he had.
According to a report in the New York Daily News, it is. The cover story includes what is purported to be recently uncovered audio, recorded a year before the 20-year-old committed one of the deadliest mass murders in American history. The paper spoke to 2 classmates of Lanza who said it was him.
He didn't act really any differently than a human child would.
The audio obtained by the Daily News is from an Oregon College radio show called Anarchy Radio. The man the paper identifies as Lanza wanted to discuss the death of a domesticated chimp named Travis with radio host and self-proclaimed anarchist John Zuckerman. In 2009, Travis was shot and killed by a police officer after he brutally mauled a Connecticut woman. The caller, who identifies himself as Greg, compares a violent chimp attack with that of a teenage mall shooter in an over 7-minute interview.
This attack can be seen entirely parallel to the attacks, the random acts of violence that you bring up on your show every week. Committed by humans, which the mainstream also has no explanation for. Actual human, I just don't think it would be such a stretch to say that he very well could have been a teenage mall shooter or something like that.
Zuckerman doesn't know who the caller was, but remembers the call.
The voice is kind of odd, sort of robotic. And maybe he's trying to disguise his voice or something, I don't know.
According to a blogger cited by the Daily News, Lanza posted in an online forum under the username Smiggles, a name Sandy Hook investigators say he may have used in instant messages. In one 2011 post uncovered by the blogger, Smiggles wrote about calling into John Zuckerman's radio show.
I think the subtext of what he's saying, violence is innate and instinctual to humans and really should not be punished because it is their natural basis. That's the message I think he's trying to get across. And the parallel to himself is obvious. He feels possessed by this need, this compulsion to commit violence.
We reached out to Connecticut State Police spokesperson Paul Vance, and we're still awaiting a comment from him. Meantime, Lanza's father, Peter, says that he's willing to release any medical records that he can related to his son. A month ago, the Sandy Hook Advisory Commission said it is vital to have access to more information about Lanza's mental health history.
And again, though we have seen CNN hasn't independently confirmed it's his voice, it's still so troubling to listen to.
It really is. It's creepy.
Thanks, Pamela.
And again, they haven't confirmed it's his voice, but it's chilling to listen to. Can you believe these fucking prostitutes here? You've got to be the stupidest fucking person in the world to believe what these fucking sock puppets say. You got to be so stupid. You got to be even stupider as a news organization to use a tabloid like the New York Daily, right? The New York Daily Post or New York Daily News, right? As a source, right? Now, I covered the Daily News. I get them mixed up sometimes. The Post, the News. This recently came out, was a photo that was used on the front page of the New York Daily News, which was clearly a Photoshop of a baby who could be anybody in the world. But, of course, the freaky Adam Lanza photo, which they showed over and over again. You know how they do it, you know? Like, I've shown this many times. They do it during all it's a real programming thing. This image... These images of him will just keep coming forward again and again. It's a scare tactic. They know how to put these things in the brain, in the subconscious of the sheeple who watch it. They know that the power of these images, the way it's coming forward, the way it's in the background. And a lot of people have broken down this image and said it's totally photoshopped and is a sort of collage of different people that they put together, which wouldn't surprise me in the least. Because it's not news. I mean, this isn't news. The New York Daily Post, by the way, or the New York Daily News, is the one that put the fake photos here of the Boston bombing. Right? Remember this when it came out on the front page? They doctored photos. Just because they wanted to really sell it, they doctored a few photos that showed limbs and body parts and legs smashed, like this one here, which the real picture, of course, didn't show anything, right? But that's what the New York Daily News does. They are a tabloid, a total tabloid. Got him. Vengeance at last. U.S. nails the bastard. No sense of objectivity. None whatsoever. This isn't news. This is programming. It's Goebbels 101. It really is, and I can give you a million examples. I mean, the evil has landed. Look at this one here. Front page, right? You don't get a choice to think. And in case you're curious and you're thinking, well, who owns this? Well, I did check it out, of course. I check out these things all the time. I mean, it's very important to know who owns these fake news sources, these outright bullshit, 100% no credibility, right? And the kind of shit that they put on the front page of this newspaper, and the fact that CNN would use this as a source is just unbelievable. It really is. So you're wondering who owns the New York Daily News? None other than Mort Zuckerman. I covered this last year. Let's listen into what Mort Zuckerman says about getting the sheeple in order. And he's a billionaire Jew, Canadian, by the way.
You want to change the whole mood of this country? Have a couple of terrorist attacks that go off. You want to change the whole mood of this country? Have a couple of terrorist attacks that go off without the ability to stop them.
There you go. That was from the McLaughlin Group, I believe. And I covered this last year, as I said. This guy is a multi-billionaire and a Jew, a Zionist, most definitely. And he owns a number of papers, but this is one of his babies here, the New York Daily News. So we've got CNN running a story that has absolutely no truth to it, is 100% bullshit. They got these blonde, dollish women, these prostitutes, to sell the story to you. They use the programming, the images, and the images are always flashing and growing across the screen and moving, and then there's several of them at once, and then the quotes are put in. It's all to get it in the brain. It's all to get your subconscious working. It's all programming, the way that they use these images. They use it to put fear. Now, Travis the Chimp, it's interesting that they would link Travis the Chimp to Adam Lanza, because Travis was the chimp that allegedly ripped the face off the women there that they showed. And the story going with that was that the normal meds, I don't know if it was Xantax or I can't remember, some sort of antidepressant that the woman who owned the chimp gave the chimp, and then on the day that the chimp had gone crazy, she had run out of her prescription and gave him some other form of antidepressant, psychotropic type drug, and the chimp went bonkers. Apparently almost killed a woman by ripping her face off, and then ripped the door off a cop car, and then the cops shot the chimp like 5 or 6 times, and according to the story, he ran up into his pen and died, right? But the fact that they're linking him to this would say to me that they're really trying to push this depression, people who are on drugs, psychotropics, people that are on antidepressants. It's all a push to take away the guns from every single group that you can. You have to start somewhere. So they start with the people with the depression, with the mental disorders, Asperger's syndrome, all this. Try and take the guns away from them. Then they go after the next group. Eventually they eliminate them all, right? But this is fake news, and this is how CNN works. It's how all these, it's how the young turds or the dumb turds will do a segment on this segment, right? And then they'll go, oh my God, isn't it terrible? And this kid, and then the Anna girl will be going, I just don't understand why nobody, and this news just feeds itself. It's fake fucking news. There's no way that is his voice. Of course, from all the evidence that we have, Adam Lanza never even existed. So we really have no real proof that this guy even existed. Of course, anybody who follows this channel knows for sure that Sandy Hook is 100% bullshit. So there's bullshit on top of bullshit. And the reason why I cover it is because every time they're going to put and run one of these stories on Sandy Hook, it's up to us to rip it down. Because they can't be allowed to use these stories. They can't get away with it. And that's one thing that I'm not going to let them do. They're not going to get away with using Sandy Hook. They're not going to get away with using the Boston bombing or any of these other hoaxes, because when they pull these hoaxes, fuck them, right? And they're bullshit. And that's what it is. I mean, the mainstream corporate media is just bullshit, fear propaganda, subliminal monarch programming that they use on the sheeple who watch this stuff. They know how to flash these images. They know how to use them. They know that if they put the quotes up with them, and then they have all the sort of graphics going with it, that they can plant this in your head and make you fear, right? And it's all it is. I mean, that's basically all that mainstream media is now. Is just a giant propaganda machine. And as I said, on CNN, they don't even try anymore. I mean, they really don't. They don't try at all. They just come right out and tell you what to do or what to think. And as I showed the other day with the guy dealing with the vaccines, he just kept saying it. In fact, he would stop and say, well, look, I got to say it. I've said it twice already. I got to say it again. Go out and get vaccinated. Go out and get vaccinated right away. Go right now. And then he's talking to the doctor there, and he says, I give you permission to say it again. Say it again. They don't even care anymore. I mean, they're not even trying anymore. It's just a fucking joke. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, Mort Zuckerman, this guy is a scumbag, and this was right after the Boston bombings, or I think it might have even been before, but he was saying that if you really want to fucking make people fall in line, have a couple terrorist bombs go off that can't be solved, basically, right? A couple false flags. He was calling for a false flag to get people in order. And that's what these guys do. That's what they're psychopathic banksters, these fucking scumbag Zionist shitheads who are using the United States to, using their influence in the United States. Anyways, leave your comments below.